Thanks to Leader Newspapers. Coming up, all the action from Division 1, 2 and 3 in the SAS Security Final Series, plus the under 19s. It's a great handball competition, a roundup of all the games, a couple of great interviews. Don't go anywhere for the next little while. This is SFNL TV. Welcome to SFNL TV for this week, and the finals are on in earnest, and joining me at the desk, as he always does, David Hampton. Welcome, Dave.
Great to be here again, Wiz, and again, great action last weekend. It was outstanding. Only going to get better this week as well, so we might get straight into it while we can. Why don't we kick it off with the under-19s, of course. Last weekend we had Hampton 17-11, 113 in the elimination final, defeating Oakleigh Districts 6-8-44. Lee, outstanding for the Hammers, Wiz, kicking 6 goals.
Terrific game too. They were jumped at the start by Oakleigh. They opened up a 4 or 5 goal lead early in the game, but the Hammers came good later in the game. Terrific game, under-19 football. Fantastic.
And of course the qualifying final was St Kilda City. They're the team to beat, many say, along with, of course, Dingley. They had a very good win, 11-15-81, defeating Bentley 2-1-13, of course. And Paulie kicking 7 there for St Kilda City.
It's had a very good year.
Had an outstanding year, which means next weekend we've got Dingley will be up against St Kilda City, should be a thriller. And, of course, Bentley get another crack at it against the Hammers.
So losers are eliminated in the first semi-final out of Bentley and Hampton, and the winner of the second semi-final will go straight through to the grand final. Hammers. Who will it be? St Kilda City or the Dingoes?
I think the Saints might get up, to be honest, and why not? I love the Saints.
All right. While we're on the under-19s, Hammers, why don't we go straight to the under-19 handball challenge for this week?
Well, we've got Will Hunter over there, and he's got the boys with him. Take it away, Will.
Yes, thank you again, Wiz and Hammers, and welcome again to this week's instalment of the Under-19s handball competition, made possible thanks to Snipers Den, the Breast Cancer Network of Australia, and of course Buxton Real Estate. With me today I have Matt Brown from the St Paul's Footy Club. G'day, Matt.
G'day, mate.
And Rob Moriarty from the Bentley Footy Club. How you going?
Good, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, pal. You're playing some good footy this year?
Yeah, we're going all right. Had a few losses, but we'll see how we go in finals.
Good stuff. Now, St Paul's making a charge to finals in the seniors. How's your form been?
For seniors or 19s?
Both.
Good, really. We had a good run in the 19s and good in the seniors as well. You know, won 9 out of the last 10 in the seniors to make finals, and third spot still up for play, so see what happens, really.
Fantastic, good stuff. How are you with the handball?
Don't know. We'll see how it turns out today, I guess.
Yeah, we're about to find out, mate. You hold this, I'll toss the coin, I'll get you to call.
I'll go heads.
Tails again, no one can pick him. What are you doing?
Oh, mate, you can go, mate.
Well, such a gentleman. Both right-handers, let's see how we go. 10. Bang, on the bullseye. And that's your 3, 25 from those. Let's see how you go, Rob. 3 on the right. 5. 5, not bad, mate. Bang, right in the middle. And that's 20 from your 3. Very close one we have now. Matt, you're up now with 3 on the left. See how we go. Oh, bang. Straight down the middle. Oh, here we go. Wonderful. That's a big score, tough to beat. See how we go, Rob. We're on the left, come on, pal. 5. Needs a couple of big scores here. 10, bang. 5. That's 40 from your 6. And another close contest we had here today. Matt Brown getting the points, 50-40. Well done to you, Matt.
Thanks, mate.
We'll see you in the final. Rob, thanks for being a part of it. Well done, and best luck for the rest of the season.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks for that, buddy. And thanks to our sponsors again today, Buxton, Breast Cancer Network of Australia and the Snipers Den. We'll see you again next week for another instalment of the Under-19s Handball. And back to you, Wiz and Hammers.
Thanks, Will, and a good win there for Matt Brown from St Paul's Footy Club. That's it for Under-19s Hammers this week.
It is, but we've got plenty more coming up right after the break, of course. Division 3, 2 and 1, much more to get through as well, and we've got a couple of great interviews with some of the coaches coming up. We'll be back with more right after this.
RSL Victoria is now rewarding their members for every dollar they spend in the bar and bistro. That's right, for every dollar you spend, you get reward points. Just swipe your membership card each time you visit your local RSL and be in the draw to win fantastic prizes. That's a reward you can feel good about. Become an RSL Victoria member now and start being rewarded.
Welcome back to SFNL TV, and it's time now, Hammers, for a Division 3 wrap-up of last week, the second round of the SAS Security Final Series, semi-final weekend. And on Saturday, in the second semi-final, Blackrock 13-8-86 defeated Mount Waverley 6-8-44. Pretty comprehensive win there.
I was going to
for
say,
the
very
Jets.
convincing win again for Blackrock, and I know people have written them off at times throughout the season, but they've taken all before them, and full congratulations. They're straight into the grand final, of course. Got the week off this week, but no doubt they'll give themselves a very good account.
Terrific effort by John Burke and his men there, and a week off and getting ready for grand final day in Division 3.
The other one was a lot closer though, Wiz.
It sure was,
in
yeah.
the first semi.
And this we saw a few weeks ago in the home and away season, a replay of that. But the first semi-final, Moorabbin 12-8-80, with Trent Davey booting 4 goals, defeated Ashwood 10-9-69 in what was a very, very close game of footy. A do-or-die affair, and Ashwood now hang up the boots for the rest of the season, and Moorabbin live to fight another day.
And again, a couple of late injuries to Ashwood probably didn't help their cause, but again, full credit must go to the Kangaroos, because many were tipping they could have been out in straight sets. So they've set themselves up for what will be a spectacular preliminary final, of course, next week. On Saturday at Clayton, Mount Waverley up against Moorabbin Kangaroos. So good luck to those boys, and no doubt the winner will go through to play Blackrock in the grand final. Can't wait.
All right, let's take a look now at Division 2, and joining us in a moment will be Shane Sheedy from the Oakley Districts Football Club.
But first, let's take a look at the results from last weekend. In Division 2, the elimination final was Sky 9-8-62, going down to the Caulfield Bears 9-15-69. A great win for the Bears. Not a lot of people saw it coming, Wiz, but outstanding.
One of the form sides in Division 2 at the moment, the Bears going very, very nicely. In the qualifying final last Saturday for Division 2, we saw Keysborough 9-4-58 go down to Murrumbina 10-6-66 in a game where Keysborough jumped them early, Hammers. I know you called this game at Southern FM. And Murrumbina fought back. Very gritty performance in the end, and tightly contested game.
It certainly was, and Keysborough, they certainly didn't lose any admirers. We know they've had some injuries late in the season, and they certainly gave it all they had, as we're taking a look at some of the footage now, of course, of that game. But Murrumbina, very, very brave all the way to the end, and a lot of people think this will be a very interesting game coming up this weekend. So Keysborough, as we know, will be taking on the Caulfield Bears, and it's really anybody's guess at this stage for me, that one.
Alex Maloney booted 4 goals for Murrumbina, and Ryan Goods, Sutton and Radjic all had 2 goals for Keysborough.
No question, Ryan Goods was probably the premier player on the ground in this game, but unfortunately the side didn't get the chocolate, so we tend to go with the boys that kick all the goals. And Maloney, they only had 4 goals to half time, don't forget. Murrumbina, he had all 4 of them, so congratulations to him, and of course he was our BLK player of the day.
Terrific performance by Murrumbina. They have taken some great scalps this year. Their form's been excellent in the second half of the season, and now through to the second semi-final next weekend. And Hammers, there was an absolute belter of a mark taken by Mitch Walder of Murrumbina, and here's a photo of it sent in by Kerry Thornhill. Thanks, Kerry. A great mark too, Mitch. Well done.
And hopefully we'll see plenty more of this one on YouTube. Absolute thrilling mark for the day, and it really set the tone for the Murrumbina. Got them really going.
And if you've got any photos of games that you want to share with us, send them through to the email address that you see on the screen now.
Okay, and joining us at the desk, of course, is Shane Sheedy from the Oakwood Districts Football Club. First of all, welcome tonight, Shane.
Thanks for having me.
Magnificent season for your boys, of course, having the week off last week. You've got a massive one coming up, of course, this weekend. How are the boys going, and how, more importantly, have you got a nice full fit group?
Yeah, look, most of the boys are ready to go. I mean, the week off's a big bonus. You freshen up sort of thing. So we've had a bit of a hit out last Saturday before we went down and had a look at the Keysy Murrumbeena game. But yeah, the week off has really done us a lot of good. Yeah, we're right to go.
And Shane, one of my favourite players for your boys would be Caleb Kandaki. I know you guys call him Cyril.
I'm glad you said that.
But considered one of the better small forwards in Division 2, perhaps along with Alex Maloney from Murrumbeena. You're going to have them side by side this weekend?
It'd be nice to see them line up. They're both very quick, but I think we'll probably find them at different ends of the ground. But Cyril did see that in the record on the weekend. He saw Maloney's right up, and it might fire him up a little bit, which will do us no harm, yeah.
A great acquisition has been Dave Velardo back at the club this year. We know what a premier goal shooter he is. But Aaron Henneman is the interesting one, of course, former Essendon bomber. Can you tell us how it came about getting him down to with the districts?
Yeah, Henno works with one of our ex-captains, Daniel Pabst, and son of Jeff Pabst, who was a coach at Oakley. And he was playing at a club and had a bit of a falling out, and we just happened to be in the right spot at the right time, had a quick chat, and he ticked all the boxes, and he's a ripping fella. And he's got better as the week's gone on, obviously getting to know the guys, and the guys are getting to know how he plays. He's a big unit. He was sort of earmarked maybe for Tyson King at some stage, because how are we going to combat that come finals time? Yep. Unfortunately, Tyson's injured, which is a pity, because we all like to see the best players out there. But so now he's got to roll up forward for us, and it's working out quite well.
Very good. All right, Murrumbeena, your opponent this weekend, and of course a win gets you through to the grand final. What do you know about them, and how are you going to get over them?
Oh, it's going to be tough. I mean, the whole division, everybody, the whole 5 sides that have made the finals, or unfortunately now Sky's gone, but 4 sides, we're all pretty close. It's going to come down to on the day, and who puts their hand up and goes, well, Beena, Righty's got a good bunch of blokes here. I had a really good look at them on the weekend. It's nice you see a different game watching instead of coaching against them. So it was good to have a good look at them, and look, they've got some really good players, and they're going to be really tough to beat. Yeah.
One player, of course, a bit of a veteran in the competition now, but I believe he's played enough to qualify with you guys, is, of course, Grant Pitts. He keeps getting around. How's his body, I suppose, first of all, and you're going to have him up and about this weekend?
Oh, if you ask Pitsy, he'll say that his body's probably struggling a little bit, but I'd love to have his body. I think he knocks it out at the gym pretty solid, and his level of fitness that he wants and all of us are 2 different things, and he'd be one of the fittest blokes at the club as far as running and so forth like that. It's just, it gets a little bit harder to get out. I get a call from him some Sunday morning saying, can you come and help me open my eyelids sort of thing, because he can't even get out of bed or open his eyelids sort of thing. But no, he'll be right. He's right to go. Week off wouldn't have done him any harm either, so he'll be pumped.
And Shane, we've seen just typically in the SAS Security Final Series last few weeks, a very congested football. There's plenty of open space at Jack Barker Oval. Is the intention of the districts to use that space and use it all and run and play some nice, fast, open football this weekend?
Look, we think one of our strengths are our forward line. With, as you mentioned, Heno and Cyril and Dave Velardo down there, and Hilly, and we've got a few others. So, we want to get in there as quick as possible. So, we don't want to be mucking around with it too much out wide. It's always, it never stops. The grounds don't get any longer. You can lose a lot of time out on the boundary lines. And I noticed on the weekend that a lot of the games were played out wide. I lost count of how many punch marking contests were hit over the line.
And stoppages was an enormous amount.
And look, we're second division. Our skills aren't superb, so if you've got to get 6 or 8 kicks around the boundary line to get it to the other end, or 3 or 4 down the middle, we'll probably take the 3 or 4, because we probably can't get 6 or 8 to hit the target in a row. So,
Couldn't agree more. Well, good luck for the weekend. We really appreciate you coming in, and can't wait. I think it'll be a cracking game this weekend, so congratulations. Good luck to getting as far as you've got, and hopefully we'll see you at the big dance.
Thanks for having me. Cheers.
All right, and we'll be back with some Division 1 action after this break.
I can't speak for all clubs, but especially at mine, the environment was very much around gambling instead of the actual game itself. We never really spoke about who we were playing on the weekend because we'd always be talking about, you know, gambling or what multi-bets or little things like that, what horses we were going to bet on, because I don't think people realise once you're saturated with it, it's always in the back of your mind. You know, sport was built for the love of the game and not the odd, and try and bring it back to why we all love sport.
The convergence of sports and gambling has been a concern for us, and I think it's a concern for many in the community. The ultimate purpose of Gambling's Not a Game is to help sporting clubs disassociate gambling activities and sport, and in particular promotion to underage kids.
And what it really tries to do is engage with sporting clubs, both at an elite level and a grassroots level across the state, and encourage them to think about their environment and how they can play a role in promoting a responsible gambling environment within their club.
From our perspective, for our supporters and for the people that we communicate and touch as a club, it is very important that gambling is not something that can become a problem, then in many cases overwhelm individuals and their families and the people around them, and that's something that we've got to, as an industry and as a community, make sure that we avoid.
Welcome back to SFNL TV. It's time for Division 1 Hammers.
It certainly is, Wiz, and we had some cracking games over the weekend. Let's start with the elimination final. Of course, it was Mordialloc 9-11-65 defeating St Paul's 7-8-50. Cracking game. Of course, this one was our match of the day as well. Mordialloc, we thought they were just about out of gas in the end. Of course, St Paul's lost one game out of the last 11, and that was by 1 point. Not many people gave them a chance, but I'll tell you what, Mordialloc did very, very nicely to get up by 15 points. And as we've mentioned before, they've come up from Division 2, so an outstanding performance by them to get another crack at it next week.
Yeah, really gutsy performance, and they seem to keep doing this, Mordialloc, where we just about think they're gone, and they come up and surprise us. They've got some great scalps this year, and St Paul's one of the form sides coming into this final series. And Mordialloc have taken it from them. So we say goodbye to St Paul's for the year. And Mark Descent, who was our guest on the show last week, has announced that he will no longer be coaching at St Paul's. So well done to Mark on his couple of years there with the Doggies. And Mordialloc move on to battle it out next week.
They do, and of course the other game was the qualifying final as well, and that was East Brighton 12-10-82, defeating East Malvern 8-11-59.
And joining us at the desk now is the senior coach of the East Malvern Football Club, Justin Cowell. Justin, thanks for joining us.
No worries, Wiz. Thanks for your time.
No, it's terrific. Thanks for coming along, mate. Now, last weekend, a good opponent. Didn't turn out the way you planned, but you're still in it, and you've got a chance this week.
Exactly, mate. We played East Brighton, and we match up pretty well with those guys, and we're pretty confident going into those sort of games with East Brighton. So, we butchered the footy a little bit, and probably didn't take our chances when we had them. But having said that, East Brighton's a really good footy side, and the reason being they're a game clear or 2 games clearer than us at the end of the year, and we hopefully get another crack at them if we go all right this week. So we'll see how we go.
Now, Justin, your depth has been really tested this year down at East Malvern. You've had a lot of injuries, I suppose, early in the year, and unfortunately for your boys, the injuries aren't short-term ones. You've had a lot of long-term ones throughout the season.
You're right, Hammers. We had probably 4 or 5 season-ending injuries, probably around the week 13, week 14. So we've had a little bit of time to readjust, but a couple of our sort of A-grade players were in amongst that group, and they're real key factors for our footy club. But we've had time to transition that. So now we're got ourselves to a first semi-final, and finals is always an option for us, and we're looking to that, and the prelim final was our main goal. So we're one game away from that. But so against East Brighton was someone we thought we could have had a good crack at, but like I said, we butchered the footy and made some poor decisions. So the outcome of that is a 4-goal defeat. So here we are in First Division this week.
The opportunity is you get another crack, as we said earlier, as well, of course. Now, you got a chance to have a look at Mordialloc on Sunday.
Yep.
How did you sort of make their game out to be? It was a really tough fought game against St Paul's. I think most people went St Paul's, to be honest.
Yep.
Not sure what your view was on it, but Mordialloc, they certainly keep coming at you, don't they?
They do. They're pretty consistent, Mordialloc, I'll give them that. And St Paul's were the form side of the competition.
No
I think
question.
there's no worries about that. But the first half was a little bit scrappy. I think it was deadlocked at half time, and it was sort of one of those games, from my point of view, I didn't know sort of who to put too much time into. So, it was probably a little bit more St Paul's my way in terms of in putting time into them early in the first half. But Mordialloc are one of those sides. They've got some really good players, but they've got a really even spread. So it's one thing that you sort of look at their backs and their forwards and their mids, and it's hard to really judge, a little bit. As
they're
to
very
how
even
going.
across the board, aren't they?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
Just trying to look at where you might have some advantages in this game. It's obviously do or die, and looking at obviously with Matty Turek in the ruck, but also with Ryan up forward. He's kicked 60 odd goals for the season. He'll probably be standing Josh Jewell, who has got a few big scalps this year, probably a highly underrated defender.
Did a good job on Ridgeway on the weekend.
Really good job, yeah. So where do you think this win's going to come from for you?
Well, Josh, as a defender, he's got some good size too. That's one thing. He can play sort of smallish on a Ridgeway, but he can also go. I mean, Mark's not a huge guy, but he's he stands about 6'1", so he's a pretty explosive sort of player to Mark, and a little bit one-trick pony-ish, but we're trying to get that out of him. But with T-Rex, Matty Turek's a recruit this year that we've had, and his last 2 months, I reckon, have been outstanding across the board for any side playing. I think he's been terrific, and playing a lone hand majority of the time, which is tough on him. But he's just a workhorse, and he's starting to really gel with the guys. Like, he's new to our club, and we had 3 or 4 sort of key players through the midfield new to our club that we needed. And a couple of those players didn't start playing until about round 6 or 7. So they're starting to get a little mindset inside the centre circle there. So things are starting to work out all right there. But T-Rex is working his bum off, mate. He's going really well.
Yeah, very good. And getting some supply too. I know Hammers and I have seen a couple of times through to Fitzgerald and some of your other boys in the middle there. Anstey, of course, is one of the key playmakers for them in the middle. Every time he touches the footy, it's quality. Have you got any plans about countering their impact?
It's a little bit of one of those ones at finals time when you sort of back all our guys one-on-one. Like if they get their own space and their own time with any opponent, I back them in. So to sort of shut down players as such, I'm not a huge fan of that, but you've got to pay the utmost respect. No worries at all. So I'm sure they would be the same with us in terms of Fitzgerald and Finnan and Cook up forward maybe a little bit with Ryan. So Cookie had an outstanding game against Mordialloc last time we played in the home and away. We won by 3 points, and he's a one-on-one king. He really is. I rate him in the air and on the ground. So sort of looking at Anstey and those guys, we also think that we've got a fair bit of firepower one-on-one ourselves. So I'd back those boys in to do that.
And of course, this being your second year in the SFNL, I know that you obviously played a lot of football down Lee and Gathaway. How have you found the transition into the competition?
The first year was a bit tough. I think they only won 1 or 2 games. I think the first year they came up. So I was sort of coming into the unknown. I played in the Eastern Footy League in the flag league with East Burwood, and so just to try and compare the leagues a little bit it took a little bit of adjusting, but. We at the end of my first year, we sort of knew what we needed to be competitive as a group, as a club. Our committee and presidents and all those sort of things. We knew where we want to get to. We want to sustain a really good side for the next sort of 5, 6, 7 year period, whether I'm coaching it or not. Yeah. But so we know we envy Dingleys and Brightons and those sort of things. So we want to get there, and we'll get there slowly. But we had to make a transition at the end of last year, and we did that, and we probably have to do the same again maybe next year. So. It's one of those things that, we're building.
So is that one of the keys, I suppose, for the football club in general, is to try and build sustainable success?
It is, mate.
And looking forward to?
For sure, Hammers. Like me as a coach, I sort of, back in the day, it was 90% football or 10% personality, but to me it's 50-50, if you're going to buy into the footy club, and you obviously got to have some skill and ability to come with it.
Sure.
But we like to buy in personality as well, because if they buy into our footy club, we buy into them, and it becomes a good match, and we know they're there for the long term to a degree, but they're also got a care factor about a footy club, which is really important.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us, mate, and as we said, we wish you all the very best for this week coming up. It should be an absolute cracking game, of course, up against Mordialloc. We can't wait for it, and thanks again for your time, and really appreciate it.
No worries, Hammers. Thanks, mate. Thanks, Wiz.
Thank you. And that's the first semi-final between Mordialloc and East Malvern Football Clubs this Sunday at Springvale Reserve. Should be an absolute beauty. Make sure you get down there nice and early. Get yourself a good position to watch that one. Of course, the big one next Saturday at Springvale Reserve, the second semi-final between Dingley and East Brighton. A replay of last year's grand final and this year's season opener should be an absolute cracker.
And wouldn't these boys love a crack at one of those two sides?
Oh, my word. So the winner of that one, of course, goes straight through to the grand final. And the loser will get another chance in the preliminary finals. It'll be the Southern FM match of the day as well. So that's Dingley versus East Brighton at Springvale Reserve this Saturday afternoon. All right, Hammers, well, that's all we've got time for from a footy point of view this week. But don't forget, if you can't get to the games, we say it every week, SFNL Live, it's a web-based mobile phone app. It gives you all the scores live, and with the push of one button, you can listen to the Southern FM broadcast live through your headphones.
Certainly can. And also, don't forget, coming up, we've got the grand final breakfast at the Woodlands Golf Club. Guy McKenna, of course, is our guest speaker. Friday the 18th of September. Don't forget, get in touch with the league, and that'll be a great morning as well.
And don't forget the SFNL AFL 9s competition. It's fun, it's fast, it's AFL 9s. Contact the league office, starts October 2015.
We're just about done.
Always a great one.
Flies.
And plenty of action to come in the SAS Security Final Series. Make sure you get down to the grounds and watch all the action. We'll see you there, and we'll be back next week. That's it for now. See you later.